Hi, welcome to the demo on messaging on the cloud, and this is based on the JBoss Views cartridge on top of our xPAAS, which is our OpenShift platform provided by Red Hat. And where we're going to talk about three common standards of protocols for messaging. The first one we're going to use is the MQTT protocol. MQTT protocol is a very lightweight messaging transmission protocol. So it's very commonly used between a handheld device because it has very low powers and it's transmitting a very small package of data on top of the wire. And the second one we're going to use is STOMP. STOMP is implemented by many languages, and it's very simple because it's only transmitting a string of text. So you could use it through Python and even JavaScripts. So with AMQP is a more complex protocol because it's been created for a more enterprise level, so it can support different mechanism in messaging, such as publish and subscribe and request and response, even store and forward. And so there's many things that you can play around with AMQP. So we're going to talk about we're going to use the three protocols in our demo. So our demo will be in the JBoss Views cartridge, of course. And we're going to create a broker. So with the broker, we're also going to create Camel routes. So all these are going to be on top of the OpenShift. So with the demo, with the broker that we have created for this demo, we're going to create different connectors. So each connector has its own protocol, such as the MQTT, AMQP, and STOMP as well. And we're going to have an open wire protocol as well, which is a default protocol for our AMQ products, and a WebSocket as well for STOMP through a JavaScript examples, of course. And to interact with the examples that we have created, we are also going to write a web application. So this web application is going to be deployed in your local machine. And this local machine is this application on top of your local machine is going to do two things. Well, first thing is it's going to have a console for you to write data and text into the broker, and then we're going to have a console that displays everything that you wrote in the application as well. So there will be messaging going forward and backwards, going through this message in this demo as well. So the first step is we're going to create the connectors. So how do we do that? I am going to use OpenShift Online. So when you go to the OpenShift Online, you should see their homepage here. So if you don't already have an account, please sign up here. It will give you three gears, so you can deploy your applications on top of the OpenShift Online. And so after you register it, you could log in and you can start building your own applications. So how do we add a Fuse application? So it's quite easy. All you have to do is click on the Fuse applications in the add application page. So I won't go through all the details because you can find all this information from my previous demo or from other resources on the internet. And so after we create a Fuse cartridge, you should be able to log into the JBoss Management Console. So let's log in. After logging in, go to the MQ tab on the top. We're going to create a new broker configuration. So click on the create broker configuration, and we're going to give a name for this one. We're going to call it a demo broker. And this time, because we're not going to create a lot of broker here, so we're just going to choose standalone. And you will see a broker configuration created on this page. And we're going to do a little bit of setting up because we're going to add the connectors onto the broker itself. So go to the wiki page, and under the broker profile, we're going to create the configuration file. So we're going to call it a demo broker.xml, and this is going to be all the configuration and setting for the broker itself. And so what we're going to do is we're going to copy all the data, all these settings from the base profile that we have, and we're going to paste it in the new file that we have created. But wait, that's not all. We're going to add the new connectors that we're going to add here. So we're going to add an AMQP protocol, and with that we're going to change the port, and this time we're going to just going to set it a static one. So for AMQP we're going to put 5672 and MQTT as 1883, and we're going to add STOMP, and this is how we do it. STOMP one, and I'm going to put a and we want to make sure the port doesn't exceed 35,000 in OpenShift, and we're going to create a WebSocket as well, and that's it. And we're going to save this file. And before we go do anything further, remember we have added a new configuration file, so we want to make sure it reads the same name. So we're going to add the demo broker XML setting in the property file for the fabric, so it knows where to read. And now we have you see we have to create a container to run this broker. So we're gonna make sure you put in the right OpenShift connection login. And for me it's easier to use a bigger cartridge, because we're gonna do put a lot of things on top of this gear, so want to make sure we have sufficient resource for that. And after we add it, and we can go to the web console, and we will see the connectors setting up and the IP, the intranet IP for this container as well. The next step is to create the three routes I was talking about. The three routes are built by Apache Camel, and those three routes are representing three different protocols. They are reading the data from three different protocols, and then we're going to deploy the three routes onto the container that we have created. Now go to JBDS, the Developer Studio, and there's make sure you import the project that I have given in my GitHub account. And so there's like three different consumers. The first one is AMQP, second one is MQTT, so all of them has a Camel routes. So if you look at the Camel routes here, you'll see it's reading the informations from different protocols. So for the first one, it's reading from the AMQP, and it's doing the log and converting the information into another queue to read, and same as for the MQTT one and as the STOMP one as well. So all the datas and log and settings are within this XML. You can, one thing that we have to look at, it's the property files. So we want to make sure there's a property file called OpenShift configuration property. It has all the login informations and their internet, the internet setting configuration here. So so there's three files under. So they're all called OpenShift config properties, and please change the password and the internal IP according to your settings. So there's three of them. They're all under Fabric, and you can change them here, or you can, later on you can go back to the wiki file that we have and change it there. But just there's like multiple choice for you to change, so make sure that you have changed all three of them. And then we're going to build our projects, and we're going to deploy it onto the OpenShift gear that we have created before. So let's do a quick Maven clean and install. This will compile and install projects in your local machine, and we'll use the Fabric 8 plugin to deploy it onto your OpenShift gear. And please remember that there's one thing you need to set, and it's in my README file, and it's that you have to go to your Maven repository file and make sure you have a OpenShift account of ID and password setting in your setting.xml. So please make sure you have that. And now we are going to go to the next consumer, which is the MQTT consumer. We're going to do the same thing for that as well. So we're going to do a Maven cleanup and going to deploy it on top of the using the Maven Fabric plugin as well. So this is all the same. I have done this separately because I want to make sure that you can always not deploy one of the mechanism because you probably want to reuse some of it. So it's just making sure the code is clean for you. And we're going to the last one, and or just a quick make sure that it's deployed. So everything you see here is deployed onto the gear that we have created. So now it's the STOMP one, the last one that we have created. So again, do a quick Maven install and do a and just deploy using Fabric plugin. Okay. And yep, and we'll wait for it to deploy it. And yep, it's finished. And let's go back to the management console for Fuse. So all three of the profile that we have, the routes we have created are done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the profile that we have created, the AMQP, MQTT, and the STOMP consumer. We're going to deploy it onto the container that we have created before, and make sure you restart the whole thing again, the whole container again, because it might cause some error, so please restart it. And after restarting it, go to the container console itself. So with the container console, you should be able to see the logs, and make sure there's no error. And there will be a Camel tab on top of the menu bar, so you will see the three routes that we have created here. And if you go to the diagram, you'll see how this Camel route is laid out. It's very simple, so there's nothing much, just getting the information and putting it into the queue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the connection itself. So I'm going to do a send button. I'll click on the send button. I'm going to send a message to the AMQP endpoint. Well, I'm going to do a plain text, so there's no format. So I'm going to do a demo AMQP test, and I'm going to send the information in, and go back to the log because we have a log here, and we have log the information. You should see a log in the log as well. So we're going to do the same for the STOMP. And for STOMP, we're sending the information into the topic. So we're going to send the data, and this time I'm going to put down the demo test and stop send, and you should see that in the log as well. So here, and this time we're going to the topic, and we're going to in the AMQ, we're going to do a little bit differently, and we're going to the my demo MQTT topic, and we're going to send a message into the topic. And this time you'll see the MQTT is actually picking up the data, and it's sending the data into the messaging queue. And then we're going to forward the ports from the cloud into the local machine. So we're going to do a RC port forward command to import all the ports, like the MQTT and AMQP port, to the local machine, so we can connect our application onto the broker. So go to your command line and type in RC port forward, in your container name. It's a DemoCon, and type in your OpenShift password, and it should automatically detect all the ports to import from. So lastly, we're going to start up our application, our local application. To do that, go to the dashboard application and make sure you go to the property files and make sure you add the right password to every single one of your property, and it's all gonna be your password for your console. So make sure it's all created. And for this application here, we also have a camera routes. Well, there are like 4 camera routes here. So the first camera routes were collecting information from the display port that we have put our data in. The other 3 are just web sockets that's listening to the data that we have inputted. We're going to input from the web page. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build the project. So we're gonna do a quick Maven install as well. Then what we're gonna do here is we're going to start up our application using Jetty Runner. So go to the using Java -jar and Jetty Runner and running your WAL file. It's going to start up a Jetty web server, and it's going to start up and run your Camel routes. So go to, well, I didn't say anything typically, so you go to port 8080 and index.html for the console to receive all the data, and AMQP.xml for you to send message via AMQP protocols, and the MQTT one for the MQTT message, and lastly, of course, it's the STOMP HTML file that we can send the information in. So the STOMP JavaScript, actually I copied it from one of the examples online, so you can also see in my code. So for the AMQP, we're gonna type in the AMQP message, and we're going to press enter to send. And once it's sent, it should appear in the control panel, the receiver console. And we're going to send the message in the MQTT content, and we're going to send it 10 times. So press enter. So it's going to send this message 10 times. And so go to the console. It's going to get all the message. And this time we're going to send the STOMP. We're going to send the data from the console using WebSockets. Okay. So don't forget to change your password. So just add your password here and type in your STOMP message and click on send. It should send the information via WebSockets. So there you are. Here is my demo. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks.